Juba embattled interim chairman of the Sudan People's Liberation Movement in opposition, SPLMIO, Stephen Parkour, has opposed the use of military tactics, including airstrikes on civilian areas, to resolve South Sudan's ongoing crisis. Bombing communities no path to peace, says Parr. Speaking with conviction, Parr, who also serves as the Minister of Peacebuilding in the revitalized Transitional Government of National Unity, called on political leaders to prioritize dialogue, emphasizing that lasting peace in South Sudan hinges on the active participation of every citizen. June 20, 2025. Minister of Peacebuilding and embattled interim chairman of SPLMIO, Stephen Parkour. Juba embattled interim chairman of the Sudan People's Liberation Movement in opposition, SPLMIO, Stephen Parkour, has opposed the use of military tactics, including airstrikes on civilian areas, to resolve South Sudan's ongoing crisis. Speaking with conviction, Parr, who also serves as the Minister of Peacebuilding in the revitalized Transitional Government of National Unity, called on political leaders to prioritize dialogue, emphasizing that lasting peace in South Sudan hinges on the active participation of every citizen. You, as a citizen, are a cornerstone of the peace we seek, Parr said during an interview on a Coachmakers Powerhouse program on South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation. It begins with one person, then spreads to 2, 10, to communities and entire regions. Everyone must take part in building peace. When pressed about holdout groups and opposition figures who have fled the country, Parr, who himself faced brief detention by the government in March, urged these groups to return and engage in negotiations with the Juba administration. Let them come back home, he insisted. We cannot resolve this conflict on social media, nor by bombing communities, nor by retreating to the bush to wage another war. Parr stressed the need for calm and reasoned dialogue, saying, "This country needs peace, and peace demands conversation with clear heads. We must free ourselves from this cycle of war and political violence." When I hear a yet, he sounds like a ghost lost in cyberspace somewhere, he remarked. But this political crisis won't be solved online, nor will it be settled in the wilderness of South Sudan. He added, "Sooner or later, we'll find ourselves in a capital, whether here in Juba or elsewhere, sitting down to talk. There's no time to waste. We must start the dialogue now." The interim leadership of SPLM-AIO in Juba is committed to peace at all costs because the revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in South Sudan, RARCSS, remains the only viable path forward. Parr sidestepped questions about the arrests of key SPLMIO figures, including First Vice President Riek Machar and Minister of Petroleum Puat Kang Chol, whose detentions have drawn condemnation from regional and international observers as violations of the peace agreement.